Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about adding extensions to your bench press. This is something I do a lot, and it's not necessarily the way I program for all of my lifters, of course. A lot of them don't do a lot of tricep work, but if we want to get down to really just the nitty gritty, meat and potatoes, if you really want to build all your bench muscles and help just build up your upper body, obviously the bench press is one of the best exercises. The data on this is conclusive. It doesn't matter how many silly, goofy-ass bodybuilders argue against it. The data is very, very strong, and that includes even some researchers and experts in biomechanics who do work with professional and competitive bodybuilders will still tell you that the bench press is one of the best upper body hypertrophy exercises, hands down, particularly for the chest. But when we look at the benching, we know that it works the triceps. It builds the triceps very effectively. It's a great tricep builder. Not as effective as some other movements, and the reason is it doesn't work all heads of the tricep equally. It tends to bias towards the lateral head when we look at studies in hypertrophy. That's where most of the bias is. Sorry guys, I'm recording this in the middle of a rainstorm, but I'm just going to keep going anyways. It is what it is. But it tends to work the lateral head more, whereas extensions tend to build the long head a little bit more. Now, this is what hypertrophy studies show. So realistically speaking, what does that tell us? Well, if the bench press is actually performed correctly, and I've demonstrated for you guys many times on how to do that, right? And I have a pretty good sized chest there, and the bench press is my primary chest movement. Not to say I don't ever incorporate other stuff for faces, because I do, but the bench is always the number one staple, and I'm not even that great of a bencher as a power lifter, yet my chest gets big from all of it. So it can handle most of our chest development. Again, not saying it's the only thing you ever need to do, so always put that caveat out. But when we look at some of the studies on it, we do tend to find that benching biases towards the chest a little more, particularly when the reps get a little higher. We're doing rep work, becomes a little more tricep dominant as we get closer to a 1 rep max. Again, this is what research is showing. So where are we most of the time lacking? Well, for a lot of people that means that they may need more tricep work. Again, there are exceptions. But this is a good way to program for, I would say, most people who are not at a very, very strong level. What I mean is you're under a 3-plate max bench, right? You can't pause 315 or 140 kg on your chest for a 1 count and drive it up, okay? You can't do that, then you're not at a really good bench press yet. You will probably find just programming bench work, and any good bench program or good bench programming with extra tricep work will probably give you very large amounts of muscle, and it will probably help your max bench go up considerably. Now, how that varies is going to depend upon the programming. I mean, it could be conjugate, it could be other things, but the idea is the same. Focus on your benching, right? Particularly if you're even an intermediate or early advanced, just focus on your benching and then do tricep work. Now, I like skull crushers sometimes. I also like JM presses, other things. I think skull crushers are a great tricep exercise just for overall size, right? Just for promoting size, not necessarily optimal always for bench strength carryover. We could debate that. I think things like JM presses can really shine for the latter. But just for building overall size, adding skull crushers, and particularly with an easy bar like that, right? Doing with an easy bar, you could do them with dumbbells. That works effectively also. You could rotate them. I don't think that's a bad combination. Just good bench programming plus tricep extensions. Now, do I like press downs with bands, ropes, and things? Sure. Do I think that they're as effective as a skull crusher? No, they're not. They're good exercises. Hey, and I like the band work. I like to really pair the band work with, say, a JM press, just for the elbow health benefits. Okay, those are movements that I like. But the idea here is balancing the muscles that are possibly the weakest link. Okay, so if you're focusing on your bench a lot, your pecs, front delts, all that, they're going to grow. Your triceps may not. And again, there are exceptions. I have had clients who we don't do any tricep work, but some band press down to a big triceps. Their pecs are usually lacking, so we do extra pec work. And you might be one of those people, but I would also ask the question, if you're one of those people, are you benching correctly? What's your bench training itself look like? Are you bouncing a bench off the bar off your chest on your bench press? You know, what's your total benching volume look like with a pause every week? Maybe the issue why your chest is lacking. But failing that, something as simple as adding some dumbbell work, right? Something as simple as adding some sets of dumbbell work can work wonders there, just for bringing those pecs up. Yeah, that's an option. A little bit of incline work. But again, realistically, too much incline work, your front delts tend to dominate. And if anything, people who spend too much time on the incline, their overall chest size oftentimes lacks. Like the incline is a great exercise. I love the incline bench. I program it a lot. I don't think it's the best overall chest builder. I don't think it competes with the flat bench. But, you know, let's get back over to the point. This works very well. This combination will work very well for a lot of people. You'll build big pecs, big triceps. Again, you've got to program it inside the appropriate volumes for your recovery. You've got to take care of your elbows, all that stuff. But it works. Come in and just bench and do tricep extensions. And for most guys, that's going to go really, really far. And I'm not saying you won't ever need other stuff, because look at the other things I just described. You might need some extra shoulder work. You might need some extra pec work from a deeper stretch position, where you can get a better lengthened position of the muscle, let's say dumbbells or cambered bars. Okay, you might need those things. Probably not just for base building, not to just get to a real solid size and strength base in your upper body. Okay, but tricep work, it's that combination. It will always carry over time to a bigger max on your bench. Okay, it will. Because again, the data we've got shows that as we get closer to the max, the tricep activation gets higher and higher. Meaning, it is very possible and very easy for it to become a weak link. But considering that most people do train some triceps, it's not always one you see as much, among, say, the actual bros who are upper body bros, because they always tend to just train the shit out of their arms. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.